Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab. What I do, what I do for you. And I got something nice for you today. Let's rock. Rightism. 25 rules to live by. Storytelling. Story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tuning and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right thinkers mission. That's what I'm on. Is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinkers' way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. Excuse me. That's my mission, and I'm on it to get you to know thyself. If you're right thinking, your goal should be to learn the lessons and know thyself by what? Manifesting it for yourself. My goal is to get you to God, aka open up the third eye. Just be conscious of who you are. It's spiritual, not religious. I don't know how I feel about that religion. Let's go with the lesson. Excuse me. So I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical. But if you don't have an answer for yourself, meaning if you don't know yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. Let's go. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. You know I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the human alarm clock. Excuse me. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my yacht, be true. This lesson, I think, is interesting because I think it's very important that you need to know this as a right thinker. And when you hear the word aspirant, that's you. Okay, you're the aspirant in this lesson and initiation. That's who you represent, the aspirant. Okay, so right thinkers, let's talk about knowing your divine self over your ego self. And remember, sticks and stones will break your bones, but words does nothing. Remember, you're divine. Let me explain to you who you are. Hopefully, you're getting the lesson. That's what this is all about. Getting you to what? Know thyself. So let's start the lesson. You, as an aspirant, again, right thinkers, you must always assert what? That you are one with the divine, and that insults cannot hurt you, and thus you should be able to recognize what? An insulting remark for what it is. What? An expression from an ignorant person and you can restrain yourself from responding in kind. Pastor tell me, but right, if you get in mud, he said his father told him, okay, this is the old philosophy. If you get in the mud with the pig, you can't claim not to be a pig. So if you got somebody doing ignorant stuff and you engage, and you be getting in the mud with the pig conceptually. So understand that. So get a little better at how to deal with ignorance. I avoid them. Okay, that's one way. And when this act shows, when you do this, it shows what? Not weakness or dullness of the mind. No, to the contrary, it shows great strength and restraint, aka self-control. And that's the name of the game. From what? A practical level, meaning I'm not going to engage in nonsense. If I know it's nonsense, what people say about you, what people think and feel about you, that's all nonsense. Understand that? And that's my point. Now, and what happens? It tends to what? Discon- disconcert and what? Diffuse the attempts by others to what? Hurt or upset you. Once they see they can't get your goat, once they see they can't change your mood, that's what they want to do. They get a rise out of you, so to speak. All those are things people who will try to do to you to change the show. You ain't all that. No matter what you try to do good, they're gonna find something negative about it. So you, as a right thinker, have to realize that and deal with it for what it is. I'm trying to give you the understanding how to do that right now. Let's go. That's what this lesson is about. Now, when you can only, they can't hurt you. When we okay, it tends to discern hurt. Okay, now for you can only watch this be hurt if what if you allow yourself to be susceptible to what the insults of others. If you got rabbit ears, every time somebody says something about you, if it's good, you feel good, but if it's bad, you get upset. No, don't do that. Good or bad, I'm about to get to that part too. Don't let what people say, think, or feel about you change who you are. Good or bad, don't make a difference. That's where we're going with this. Stay even keel. So when they give you the praise, my pastor, most humble brother I know, due to my humility, I'm learning how to be humble from somebody who has always been that way. Moving on. That's how you learn. When you want to learn something, you learn from somebody who's doing it. You learn from somebody who know what they're doing. That way you can learn it from somebody who know what they're talking. That's all I'm saying. Somebody who ain't did it can't tell you about it. That's the blind leading the blind. Just did that lesson, but let's go. So when you follow this course of knowledge and understanding who you are diffusing what? Watch this. The fetters. Remember that word? Fetters. Self-inflicted concepts that when somebody says something about you that's bad, somebody ignorant come at you, you retaliate. Avoid that. That will lessen your entanglements with a bunch of nonsense. I don't argue no more. I don't fuss and fight no more. I know how to avoid those situations. At one time, I like those situations. I look for a fight, look for an argument, look for somebody to be disagreeable so I can, change the concept. When you follow this course, you are diffusing your fetters. So you causing less problems. And watch this. Anger and pride, which had control over you. Why? Because you are not letting them take control of you. They got to deal with their instance. They ain't going to do with you. If they ignorant, let them be ignorant. But if you engage, you just as ignorant as they are. Get it? Hopefully. Watch this. This is a quick phrase, ancient Egyptian proverb. When you answer one who is fuming, somebody's going out, losing their mind, so to speak, turn your face and what? And control yourself. You may not be able to control them, but control yourself. Acquiesce to a situation that might get out of control on their half, not yours. As long as you don't do nothing to escalate it, watch what happens. The flame of the the flame of the hot-hearted sweeps across everything. They go on berserk. They don't care about nothing. But watch this. But those who step gently, their path is a paved road. It's the road of least resistance is the arduous one. Why? Nobody wants to do it. So if you want to be your best self, you're going to have to deal with some things that you're going to have to prove yourself when it's happening. Not after the fact, knowing how you should have dealt with it. No, deal with it, acquiesce to it, and smooth through it, and then feel good about yourself. Every time I didn't do what I wanted to do, what I felt like doing, what I thought I should do, the ego self, I always feel better after not doing what the ego wanted to do. That's the self. That's you. Okay, understand that. So you must realize, and this is important, that both, I just told you, insults and praises are what? They're just whimsical comments from what? Others, which are changeable according to their feelings. One day they love you. One day I get 1,000 views. Next day I get 20. What happened? Had to get that in there. But no matter if they love you or hate you, don't make a difference. It shouldn't change what you do. I come here every day and do what I do for you. Whether 1,000 tune in, my pastor said, I preach to one if I'm preaching to 1,000. I love that concept. I do the same thing. If I get one view, I'm happier than getting none. So I understand. So moving on. But don't let that decide. It don't decide who I am. It don't determine who I am because how many get no views today. You got 1,000 yesterday. What happened today? No, I don't control that. I control the content that I put on here. Your job is to come and get it. Ding, 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 bells ringing. I'll be here every day doing what I do for you. But you must strive to what? To care only about the praises no. You must strive to care only about the praises or the criticism given by your spiritual perceptor, somebody who If I say something negative or try to construct your attitude or something, I'm not doing it out of hate. I'm doing it to concern to help you. Remember, the teacher is supposed to give you constructive criticism. Why? To help you. Your friends and loved ones gonna criticize you because they just want to, rag on you, pretty much. So that's why family members don't really change their opinion about you, no matter what people think or how you did. They still see you as who I'm understanding that. Where we at? So you must strive to care only about the praise from what a preceptor or from what the precepts of moral conduct given in the scriptures. If you follow the book, you live by the scripture. And my Christian family, and they're good for that. Why? They live by what they preach. They practice what they preach. I ain't got a problem with that. I'm problem is when I go somewhere and they preaching a good preacher, but they ain't living nowhere near it. So that's phony. There ain't no love there. In my house is love. Why? Because we all there for the same purpose. That's all. So don't get it twisted. But now, in this manner, what happened? You will eventually gain what? The intestinal fortitude of what? An immovable rock against what? The slings and arrows of insults from others and also from the negative feeling and thoughts of your own mind. Meaning your ego is starting to have less and less impact. The better you get, the less your ego have something to say. Why? Because he wants you to do what he want to do. When you start taking control, he only going to do what you allow him to do. He's going to be subservient to you, and he will be your best servant if you put him in that position. Don't let him lead you. No. Okay? You will be, watch this. If you do that, you will be secure where? Within yourself. That's where you need to be first. Sorry. Regardless of whatever anyone might say, feel, or what situations you may experience in life. I went through a lot of stuff before I came enlightened, but I had one rule. The street rules: maintain your cool. Okay? The number one rule: maintain your cool. Never blow your cool. Why? That means don't act like a fool. Man, what circumstance you were in? When I got arrested, I was cool. When I went to prison, I was cool. Whatever I was doing, I was cool. Not meaning diddy bopping cool, but I was cool within myself, knowing who I was. I ain't gonna take no shorts. Okay, I don't care where I'm at. That ain't happening. So you got to be within yourself, and that's how knowing or why knowing thyself is important. So this kind of fortitude, intestinal fortitude, what can only come from your what progress of what spirit progress on what your spiritual path through a life which is based on what, you ready, ethical and moral values rather than material or sensual values. We want pleasures of flesh. We want to look good. I want to be respected. I want to do the right thing. See the difference there? Okay, I'm just saying. I got a phrase I got to read to you right quick. I knew it was gonna come to that. I had it there for that purpose and that reason. Where we at? Here we go, right here. A sage, which is what you want to end up being once you know thyself. You can choose to teach, pass it on, or just live it. But a sage does not live a life based on sense perceptions, nor on the desires of the mind and the body. He or she has discovered what? The illusionariness of the senses, which is your body, and the emptiness of your desires, which is your ego, and the futility of trying to fulfill them in what? The realm of time and space in the flesh. It ain't happening, but we think we can, and we continue to do that. But a sage or right thinker, master self, you will know better. So that's not your problem once you get to that level. What's this? Those who are advanced, watch this, advancing on the spiritual path, right thinkers, getting better, you have discovered that you do not need to lean on your senses, perceptions to feel alive or events to make themselves feel happy. Partying, hanging out with your friends. If those are all stuff that, okay, but that ain't making you no better person. You can be sociable, but if that's all you're living for, you ain't getting better as a person. The goal is to know thyself and to get better. Why? Because in the end, you're going to be judged by the contents of your heart and your character. That's why. Straighten your character, better yourself by learning yourself and performing. Manifest the professionalism in yourself by learning each perspective in every aspect of your character, your personality. You will master every area of that, You have mastered yourself. Let's go. Let me wrap this up right quick. And watch this. They have begun to discover then that what the sustenance and happiness come from where? You ready? Within. It is there that all your desires are truly fulfilled. Outside stuff can't do that. For this reason, proper initiation, there you go, right thinkers, into what? Right thinker philosophy, a teaching and learning under, you ready? An instructor and an enlightened master or even a senior student. I got one, my dude. If I'm not teaching it, I can rely on him to do it. Why? Because he know it just as good as I do. That what makes him a master of right thinking philosophy. And yourself. Why? Because it's all about life. This is just life. Where we at? Let me wrap this up. And where we at? Okay. Now, in order to develop your correct understanding and practice under the teachers, you need to tune in and get your lessons and implement what you learn. That's how it's done. Now let's get back to this lesson. Now, your emotions. Again, once you're able to control them by detaching yourself and understanding dispassion, you will be fine. Why? Your emotions will lose their grasp over you, and this will allow what? Your mental peace and calm to become your major feature of your being. Excuse me. Christians, Muslims, and Jews, if they live by the tenets that they follow, that they believe in, they will be rewarded. They know that that's why they do it. I understand that. I'm talking about the ones who don't. So understand that. The ones who doing it the way it's supposed to be, you'll get rewarded, and I'm going to respect you because I understand that's how it's done. Moving on. Now, as this occurs, what happened? Your intellectual and intuitional capacity, meaning your ability to think, understand, will what? Increase if you study. You don't get smarter just thinking. No, you have to study. Download information. We're in the information age. Information is prevalent. It's everywhere. Moving on. So you will increase, and this will what? Lead you to a higher understanding of what? The teachings and the practices of right thinking philosophy. That's why I'm here to do just that. All you gotta do is just that. Pay attention, implement it, and it will do what it do, like I say. Moving on. This process will what? Will eventually what? Open up your intuitional. Now, intuitional knowledge, that's Isis. She represents Iset. She represents your intuition. She represents your wisdom. Okay, for a reason. Again, part of your aspects of your character. And eventually open up your intuitional faculties of what? Of the mind, wherein what'll happen? You will gain personal experience of your own divinity. I'm about to drop the pin on that one. Why? Because my whole point is to get you there. That's the purpose of me doing what I do for you, to get you there for yourself, your own. Remember back the day, they had the record Slow Jam. The guy said, yo, my man, let me hold that. He said, no, my brother, you got to get your own. That's the philosophy that I practice. All right, let me get this next part because this is going to be good here. Now, while it is important to bear insults and sometimes injury, but what? There should be a distinction, there we go, between what? Bearing an insult and injury and allowing oneself to be what? Physically or mentally abused. Put a pin right there. I'm not taking shorts from nobody, physically or mentally. I've been married twice. I got ex-wives because I was abused mentally. Simple. They couldn't physically do that, but they were mentally annoying. So trust me, it's more than one kind of abuse. And then you subject yourself to that, that's on you. I'm not that type of dude. Okay. I'm not gonna abuse you, but I'm sure not gonna allow you to abuse me. And watch this. You should be able to bear comments, which is fine. Like I say, sticks and stones, it looks like hurt. But words, I can bear comments. Why? By others who are what? Trying to hurt you with words and cause fear in you by threats and all that nonsense. When people get upset and angry, they tend to say things that's really not. But that's ignorance, out of ignorance and anger. That's the Satanian attitude. When people do that, they have not raised their conscious level to be better than that. So you leave them alone. Let's go. However, bearing injury does not imply what? That you should accept any negative treatment, physical or mental. Again, you have to be better than that. You should use what your God, your divine given talent in an effort to what improve your living conditions and to provide you your personal safety and space to be yourself. Bad relationships, all the person opposite you going is going to rag on all your negative qualities and aspects that they know about, so they're going to throw up in your face. That's never good. Okay, understand? Relationship people fighting, stop throwing up the negative aspect of the person. All it does is brings on resentment towards you. He's not gonna get closer to you, or she's not gonna get closer to you, cussing her out and ragging on her. That's not gonna help. Okay, understand that. I'm not a counselor. I don't tell nothing now. I just give you common sense. Use it or don't. But if someone was trying to injure you, your body, oh, it's going down. Shit. Excuse me. But yeah, that ain't happening. That's defending myself. Now, either by accident, I may accept the accidental, but I'm not going to accept intent. If you intent, you should make every effort. Listen, right thinkers, male and female, you should make every effort to avoid this. However, even if you meet with the cruelest enemy, you should strive to see what that enemy as an expression of God's creation, and he just don't know, or she just don't know it. So they doing what comes natural to ignorant people, act out. Who is acting out of what ignorance? I do this. I study. So when I give it to you, I want to make sure I'm explaining it to you. I'm breaking it down for you. I ain't just reading it. So I ain't just go read the book. No. More than that. Trust me. I use the book to substantiate my philosophical concepts because that's where I got them from. This book. When you're acting out of ignorance, and most people do, and spiritual what? Immaturity. Ain't nothing worse than somebody who claim to be spiritual, claim to be good, and wild out. My pastor, I've known his brother over 40 years. I have yet to see him wild out. And he came into my life as a spiritual, humble, religious brother following Christ. He ain't changed. I got nothing but respect for that. On the other hand, he met that dude. Yeah. Now we do what we do every day. Not the bad stuff, the good stuff. Well, I always did the bad stuff. Now I'm doing all good with him. I'm on his team now. Okay. That's God's team. I know that. I know team he on. I was on team me. I was on team Eagle. I was on team Bill. Do you? But when this brother came into my life, we connected, and it's been like that ever since. So you say good and evil. Okay. And that deal, I was the evil one. But guess what? Now I'm good. So I'm all right now. We on the same level, and on the same team. Appreciate you, my dude. Let me wrap this up for you. Now, but in this way, even in the most distressing situation, maintain your cool. Keep your integrity. You will be able to maintain your cool, your peace of mind, and communing with your higher self, the divine. For what? For the only way, that's the only way that you can be injured is if you identify, watch this, if you identify yourself with what? Your physical ego self, again, knowing thyself, meaning you know you're not the ego self. And you forget about what? Your higher self. If the ego's in control, the higher self has got to take a back seat. Never that. Never that. Okay. We don't ride in the back. Divine self always is the real you. Let that shine. That's the inner spirit. That's the inner light. That when those who understand from whatever religion, that's what they're fighting with. And they got the light inside them. I ain't got a problem with that. I respect that. I know about that. Okay. But watch this. When you go beyond pain, suffering, and death, that's when you realize, yeah, this body, but it's not me, so I can shed this. The spirit knows that it's going to either go home or find another body. Simple as that. Your choice. When it's you got the choice right now. The spirit that's in you, you got the choice to either incarnate it by not knowing yourself or let it go home by knowing yourself. Your choice. Let me wrap this up. Appreciate you too. Now, but you must assert what? That any comments directed towards you are really being directed toward what? Your body. Understand that? And not the real you. They don't know you. They don't know the God, divine part of you. Why? They treat you like a human because they think that's who they are. So they treat you like them. moving on. And they will what? Then you will be practicing what? Intensive right thinking philosophy, aka yoga, at when? All times. I gotta make this real quick. I was told right thinking works when I use it. Okay, I say the same thing. But I don't need to put my hoodie on to become a right thinker. I right think all the time. It's a way of life. And if it works when you use it, I use it all the time. What that say about it? I'm just saying. Moving on. Let's go. I'm almost done. Appreciate you. Where I'm at. Okay. Watch this. You use right thinking all the time. Why? Be it in prosperity or adversity. You still gotta what? Maintain your cool. When it's going good, you can't freak out. I don't. When it's going bad, you can't get depressed. I don't. So maintain. Good or bad, that's when you know you've reached that level of what? Self-mastery. When things don't move the meter for you no more. No matter what the situation, it don't change who you are and how you feel and what you're thinking. You deal with the situation accordingly, you acquiesce. You must understand that when people curse at you, they are cursing what? Your ego. And if you are not the ego, so what reason is there to become upset about somebody saying something to you? I'm going to end the lesson right here. I got more for you, but understand this is all about you knowing your divine self or your ego self. I got more for you. And the right thinkers, in closing, may you already be 100 and me 100 minus a day. So I never know that right thinker like you had passed away. I'll be back.